Okay, so I'm just going to summarize what happened with Junko and just kind of explain what her 44 days of hell were. So, Junko had rejected a guy that had made an advance on her, and she had simply said no to him, and because of that, all of this had happened. She was kidnapped by 4 boys, including the one she had rejected, and kept at the captor's home. This was also the home of his parents, and she was forced to pretend that she was the girlfriend of one of the boys. Even when it had become apparent that she was not there of free will, the parents still didn't say anything because they were afraid of Hiroshi because he had a Yakuza connection. Now, what Junko endured was absolutely horrific. She was essayed almost every single day in both regions, and over 100 men essayed her. This is because one of the boys had connections to the Yakuza, and so he would invite those guys over to get a chance with a 16-year-old. She was also beat with golf clubs and also having her face hit the cement floor. They forced various objects inside of her that caused intense internal bleeding and internal damage. She was also forced to eat cockroaches, drink her own urine. She was kept in the freezer for hours. She was hung up and used as a punching bag. She also had dumbbells dropped on her stomach, which made her lose all bowel control. One of the worst things about this, I think, is that they put a firework inside of her and lit it. Now, at one point, due to these ordeals and these beatings that kept happening to her, she lost the ability to breathe through her nose because there was blood lodged in the cavity. And because of this, every time she tried to drink, she would vomit, and this would aggravate the boys, and so they would beat her. At one point, she even tried to call the police, and when the boys caught her, they lit her feet on fire. After 20 days of the ordeal, she had such severe leg burns and muscle damage that she couldn't even walk. She couldn't even use her hands anymore because the bones were all broken and her fingernails were all cracked. And several times Junko begged the boys to unalive her and just get it done with, however they just refused to grant her that request. The boys ended up challenging her to a game of mahjong, and she ended up winning against them, which pissed them off and they began to beat her. They also lit several parts of her body on fire, and then she went into shock and died the following day. They then stuffed her body in a 55-gallon cement drum and disposed of it. When they were caught, the Japanese court did not release their names as they were minors and they were underage at the time of their crimes. However, because of the severity of this case, journalists ended up finding their real names. The saddest fact about this case is even though it was so severe and so torturous, they still got light sentences because they were minors and they're all out of jail now.